identify medians, altitudes, angle bisectors, and perpendicular bisectors. We're going to start again with the learn with an example. Now, in this section, what I encourage you to do is to take a screenshot of this key idea, as it'll be helpful to continue to come back to it. Just have it open somewhere else so that you can go back and forth, whether it's in another tab or when you save it as a screenshot, open it up and again, refer to it over and over until you internalize these definitions. So now what I did is I opened it up here in another program. So I'll go ahead and squeeze it in here into our window and we'll keep coming on back to it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do some practice. We're going to look here. Angle WYX is a right angle. Okay, angle WYX, where's WYX? That is a right angle. So we have these options. Which term describes WY? WY. Which term best describes it? Angle bisector, median, altitude, perpendicular bisector. You might already have some prior knowledge on some of these terms from previous courses, but if not, let's just keep go back to those definitions as needed. So we're looking for something regarding a right angle. Anything regarding a right angle, we can just read through them all. To begin with, a median of a triangle is a segment connecting a vertex to the midpoint of its opposite side. Let's see. If this is the vertex, is this connecting to the midpoint of this opposite side? Is y right in between yx? No. So we can cross out median. It's definitely not median. Okay. An altitude of a triangle is a segment from a vertex to the line containing its opposite side and is perpendicular to that line. Okay. So the segment from a vertex of a line containing its opposite side. So is it going from the vertex to its opposite side? Okay, it's going from the vertex to its opposite side. And is it also perpendicular to that line? Is it perpendicular? Perpendicular? What is that? Remember, that means if they form a 90-degree angle? Yes, they form a 90-degree angle. It's going to the opposite side. Okay, it looks like it's in altitude. And if you think about it, if you were to rotate this being the bottom, when you measure the altitude or like the height of a person, you measure from bottom to top. Think of this as the foot to the head. Yes, this is the altitude. You measure from bottom to top. Okay, and you measure straight up. You don't measure at an angle unless you're in elementary, right? Trying to trick people about what your height is. But here we're measuring from bottom to top, foot to head. So we'll go on and click altitude and submit. There we go. Which term best describes DF? Okay, DF is right here in the middle. Just looking at it, we see a 90-degree angle. So we should think of the word perpendicular. And now, just looking at the terms here, the definitions: perpendicular, bisector, bisector. We talked about bisectors. Bi meaning two, and it's the section here. So it's bisecting. That means cutting in two equal parts. Is FD cutting this segment in two equal parts? 25, 25? Yes. Perpendicular, two equal parts. That is a perpendicular bisector. Again, you can go back to the definition if that helps you. So a perpendicular bisector splits a segment into two congruent segments and is perpendicular to that segment. So there we go. FD is perpendicular to the segment CE and splits it in two equal parts. Splits it in half. 25, 25. There we go. Okay. Which term describes IG? IG, let's see. Well, just observing here, we see, okay, this 67 matches 67, so we should think bisector because it's in half. Now, I see the word bisector here and here. Is it a perpendicular bisector? Is it forming a 90-degree angle? No. Is it bisecting the angle? Are we given two equal angle measurements? No. Okay, so it looks like we can throw these out the window. It's not bisector. Well, let's go back to our definitions. What about median, altitude? Let's look back at those. A median of a triangle is a segment connecting a vertex to the midpoint of its opposite side. So from the vertex I, it's connecting to the midpoint, so exactly halfway between F and H on the opposite side. There you go. So G is right in between the two, and we can assume that because 67 is equal to 67. So two equal parts. All right. So that is a median. So that's the idea behind these problems. You just have to go back to the definitions and think through these, think through them aloud, talk to each other as you work through these. You really want to make sure you're certain about your answers before jumping to conclusions, and then click away, start practicing. So you may get some wrong here and there, but you'll continue to practice and internalize these definitions over time. Which term describes PR? PR here. Okay, we see no numbers. Oh, but we have this up here, so let's not overlook this information. Angle QPR, okay, angle QPR, that's this angle here, is congruent to angle RPS. So RPS, okay, we have two angles of the same size. It looks like this line is the one forming the two, right? It's cutting them in half. So that is angle bisector. Remember, bisecting two equal parts, and it's bisecting the angle now. Okay, so go ahead and submit. And again, continue this topic just the way we've done these first few problems, and remember to help each other out.